Okay, here we are with part two of Nonna's book. We're just going to continue on. All right. So, then Mary Grace and Jim seen Tanya Renee off to fly back home to Italy, is where we left off at. Okay. Mary Grace checked the mailbox and was surprised to see a letter made to her from an unfamiliar name. So she hurried back inside. She wanted to open this letter and see who it was from and what it was about. As Mary Grace was reading the letter, Jim walked in and noticed that she looked like she had seen a ghost. "Mary Grace, are you all right? You have went awfully pale." All Mary Grace could do was drop the letter to the floor and slink down into the chair. "What's the matter with you?" Jim asked, running over to her, getting very worried. "The letter." In case y'all didn't hear that, I said the letter. "The letter," Mary Grace whispered. "Who is it from?" asked Jim, picking up the letter and looking at the envelope. He asked, "Who is Lilla Marie Anderson?" "I don't know," she answered. Jim sat down and read the letter. So here's the letter. "Hello, Mary Grace. I just wanted to let you know that your Grandma Hazel was a very brave young lady, and for that I adore her so much. So therefore I also adore you as well. Especially the way you love and take care of your precious chickens. I love that they're your pets and you name them Isabella, Mr., Thunder, Silver, and Little Lady. I think they are very nice chicken names, and I love the way you talk to them. I'm so glad that you finally got to go to Sicily, Italy, and visit with Tanya Renee. I know you had a wonderful week there with her, touring all the lovely things. And then such a nice surprise for Tanya Renee to come back home with you and stayed a week and toured Hawaii. I know y'all had a wonderful 2 weeks together. Oh, and you and Jim look so good dancing together. Maybe one day, well, just maybe, Lilla Marie." "You don't know this person at all?" asked Jim, staring at the letter. Mary Grace shook her head no. "They sure know a lot about us," said Jim. "We will have to go talk to Grandma Hazel about it. They mention her in the letter, so maybe she knows something." Well, can't get the page turned. Later that evening, there was a big commotion outside with the chickens. They were just a-cackling, if that would be the word you say. It sounds more like laughing now, cackling. Anyway, Mary Grace and Jim ran outside to see what was going on. Jim and Mary Grace seen someone running around the corner of the house. Jim took off after them while Mary Grace checked on her chickens and fed them. She noticed that 2 of them was missing, Thunder and Mr. Jim came back. "I'm so sorry, Mary Grace. I couldn't catch up to him. He had 2 of your chickens. Come on, let's go talk to Grandma Hazel." He put his arm around Mary Grace and they walked over to Grandma Hazel's house. When they got inside Grandma Hazel's house, Mary Grace and Jim found her in the kitchen at the sink. As soon as Grandma Hazel turned around and looked at them, she knew something was wrong. "What's wrong?" She froze. Mary Grace said, "Grandma, let's go sit down in the living room." Once they all got settled, Grandma Hazel said, "Well, go on." So Mary Grace told Grandma about the letter she got. and asked her if she knew anything about it, if she knows who this Lilla Marie Anderson could be. "No, I don't," Grandma said, as she slowly got up and walked over to the window to look out. "That is very peculiar." Then Jim told her about the man that took their chickens and ran off. As soon as the words were out of his mouth, Grandma Hazel screamed and fell to the floor, having fainted. It didn't take too long for Grandma Hazel to come back to, but she never was the same after that. Living in a daze, always staring straight ahead. She couldn't do anything for herself anymore. They had to put her in a nursing home. When Mary Grace and Jim got back home that evening, Mary Grace went and fed her chickens. "Jim, hurry, come quick," she yelled. He ran outside to see what was wrong now. Mary Grace was standing there holding Thunder and Mister with a big smile on her face. "They're back," she said. Okay. Let me kind of get my breath here. A year later, Grandma Hazel passed away. After her funeral and everything settled down, a week later, Mary Grace was clearing out Grandma Hazel's house. I need to get my breath. She was going through everything to give to her kids and grandkids. Wait a minute. Clearing out Grandma Hazel's house. She was going through everything to give to her kids and grandkids and her sister, Tanya Renee, and her kids and grandkids. She wanted to donate some things and maybe sell some too. So Mary Grace was looking through one big box that she found way in the back of Grandma Hazel's closet. She pulled out some very pretty wood vases and boxes and a wagon. Then, in the bottom of the box, she found a big black old scrapbook. Mary Grace sat there glancing at pictures and lots of writing. "Grandma," she gasped, "you lied to me." She spoke out loud. Mary Grace had spotted a family picture of a very much younger Grandma Hazel with her mom, dad, and brothers and sisters. Grandma Hazel had always told Mary Grace that she didn't have any more family left, that they had all died when Grandma was very little. Well, as Mary Grace was reading over some of this scrapbook, she was finding out different. It was telling Grandma's story. Grandma Hazel's story. Grandma Hazel grew up with a family in western New York, USA. With her family. Her parents, Charles and Sarah Miller, 3 brothers, William, Edward, and George, and 2 sisters, Emma and Florence. She loved them all so dearly, but she despised their hobby. You see, they raised chickens, but only for the cruel sport of chicken fighting. They loved to just sit and watch chickens fight each other, and they would just laugh and laugh and laugh about it as they watched until one of them met their tragic end. But Grandma Hazel did not participate in that hobby. She loved the chickens too dearly. She cared for them, feeding them, even giving them names. She'd plead with her family, tears streaming down her face, begging them to stop. But her pleas fell on deaf ears. Finally, at the age of 16, Grandma Hazel couldn't bear it any longer. She had been saving her earnings from hard work, and decided to run away from home, leaving her family and their gruesome hobby behind. As Grandma Hazel set out to make a new life for herself, her siblings, one by one, got married and had children. The tradition of chicken fighting carried on through the generations, with each new crop of kids growing up to love this cruel sport. Yet, in this sea of enthusiasts, one of Grandma Hazel's descendants emerged, a spitting image of her. Just like her, Lilla Marie Anderson couldn't stomach the brutality of chicken fights. As Grandma Grace finished reading Grandma Hazel... No, Grandma. I messed up. Sorry, y'all. And I'm looking at the words, but I still mess up. As Mary Grace finished reading Grandma Hazel's story, she whispered, "Lilla Marie Anderson. That's who I got that letter from. So she is Grandma Hazel's great niece. That means Lilla Marie would be my third cousin or so. And right here in this book is the family tree line with addresses. So I do have more family." Mary Grace closed the scrapbook as she spoke out loud. "And I'm going to get in touch with them. It sounds like Lilla Marie was just like Grandma Hazel. Therefore, she's just like me and loves chickens." So Mary Grace finished clearing out Grandma Hazel's house and went home to show Jim the scrapbook and get in touch with her new family. After she showed the scrapbook to Jim and he read Grandma Hazel's story, Mary Grace pulled out that letter and her stationery and wrote Lilla Marie Anderson a nice long letter, sending her the phone number to call her. So Lilla Marie called Mary Grace back, and they talked and talked and talked and laughed and caught up. Found out they had so much in common. They made plans to have a big family reunion. Mary Grace and Jim was going to Western New York. When they got there, they all had so much fun. She enjoyed meeting all of her new family. Mary Grace found out that Lilla Marie's son, Liam, was a detective, and Lilla Marie had sent him to find and spy on Grandma Hazel and Mary Grace. That's how Lilla Marie knew the address to write Mary Grace and knew all those things about her she put in the letter. And Liam, just as a fun prank, is the one that took Mr. and Thunder and brought them back. Lilla Marie did not have anything to do with that. She did not agree with it at all. But in the end, they laughed about it and all lived happily ever after. So what do y'all think about my book that I wrote about Nonna Grace? That is her prize. At this point, she has not got it because I still have it in my hands. But now that I've made this video and read it to y'all, these two videos, I'm going to put it in the envelope and send it to her. When she gets it and opens it on camera and reads it on camera, Nonna Grace, you hear that? You better have read it all on camera because I want to see it and hear you read it and see your reaction. Then I will put this video up for everybody to see that. So if y'all are seeing this video, if it's up and y'all are now watching it and seeing it, Nonna Grace has done received this and seen it. Alright guys, hope y'all enjoyed that. I did. I really had fun making that story up and writing it. I want to do more of these little short stories like this. Matter of fact, I want to ask y'all, anybody else out there that watches this video, if you would be interested in me making up a story about you, like I did Nonna Grace, please let me know in the comments below. And I would be glad and have fun doing it. Okay? Alright, we'll see y'all later in the next blog. Toodaloo!